Today we're going to do a tutorial on indices. So we have our first question, 19 to the power 0. Remember the law of index, the 0 index, which states that a to the power 0 is equals to 1. Any number to the power 0 is equals to 1. So 19 to the power 0 is 1. So let's move on. 3 to the power 2 multiplied by 2 to the power 3, they do not have the same base. You can only apply index laws when they have the same base. So we evaluate them. 3 to the power 2, that's 9, that's 8, which is equals to 72. So let's move on. Third question, 1 over 8 to the power 2 over 3. Remember that you have a fraction. This is division, and this is fractional index. So we're going to have 1 divided by 8, all of this to the power 2 over 3. So this is equals to 1, 2 over 3 divided by 8, 2 over 3. So this any number, if 1 is powered by any number, it just remains as 1. So we have 1 divided by 8 squared. Remember the fractional index. Fractional index, which states that the power n over m is equals to root m multiplied by n. Remember, that's the one that I've used here. So you're going to remain cube root of 8, so that's 2 squared. So divided by 2 squared. 2 squared is 4. So we are going to have 1 over 4, this one. Let's move on. Let's move on to another question. Solve the equation. Solve the equation. 5x is equals to 1 over 25. 5x is equals to 1 over 25. Remember the negative index, which states that a to the power negative 1 is equals to 1 over a. So you can reverse this negative index, right? So let's reverse. 5 to the power x is equals to 25 to the power negative 1. Let's try and make the bases similar. So you have 5 to the power x is equals to 5 to the power 2. 5 squared is 25. 5 times 5 multiplied by power 1. So this is power of a power index. This is power of a power. Remember, power of a power, which is equals to a to the power m. It's different from multiplying indices. With multiplying indices given by am plus n. So this is multiplication of indices. This is power of a power. So we have power of a power here. So we have 5 to the power x is equals to 5 to the power minus 2. So the bases are similar. X is equals to minus 2. X is equals to minus 2. So let's solve B. So it's a matter of recognizing which law of index you are required to use. So you have 4 over 9 multiplied by negative half. So remember that this is negative half. You have negative index and you have fractional index. So let's start with the negative index. Remember, negative index is equals to, so we want to move from this to this. So we take our fraction, 1 over 4, so it's 1 divided, that's 1 divided by 4 over 9. 1 divided by 4 over 9, power half the negative sign has been moved. So this is equals to 1 divided by 4 over 9 power half. Remember, when you are dividing by a fraction, the fraction inverts. So this is 1 multiplied by 9 over 4. 1 multiplied by 9 over 4, 1 here is just 1 over 1. 1 multiplied by 9, 1 multiplied by 4. So you are going to have 9 over 4. 9 over 4 half. So you've managed to remove the negative index. You are now remained with this. So you're going to solve 9 divided by 4 to the power half. So you're going to have root 9 divided by root 4. So root 9 divided by root 4 is going to be 3 divided by 2, which is equal to 3 over 2. It's a fraction. So you have managed to solve this. You have managed to solve that. Let's move on to number 3. Let's move on to number 3. Let's move on to number 3. So in number 3 we have 32. 32 to the power minus 2 over 3 is equals to 2p. Is equals to 2p. So here we want to express 32 similar to base 2. We'll also remove the negative index in the process. Maybe if I don't, there's no need to remove it. So this is 2 to the power 5. That's it, 2 to the power 5, right? Right. Yes, 3, 4, 5. 2 to the power 5. This is 5 here. 2 to the power 5 multiplied by is equals to 2p. So this is power of a power. Remember, power of a power is equals to a. Right? So if we are multiplying this, we're just going to remain with is equals to 2p. So negative 2 is equals to p. Negative 2 is equals to p. So let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to number 4. You're asked to find the cube root of that. You're asked to find the cube root of that. Right? So we have 2 to the power 6 multiplied by 27. So cube root, we can express this in this form, right? Which is 3 to the power 3. So let's try and remove that. So you're going to have 3 cube root of 3, which is 2. If we remove 3 here from this one, it's going to remain as 2 multiplied by 3 to the power 1, 3. So we have removed 3 units from each power. Remember, 3 multiplied by this is 3, 3 multiplied by that, that's 2. So you still remember fractional index. What fractional index says? Fractional index, it says that if you have a to the power over n, you are going to say a. So we want to move from this to that, from this to that. So we are going to have 2 squared multiplied by 3 to the power 1, 3 as the numerator, over 3. So this is going to cancel out. It's going to cancel out. So your answer will be 2 squared multiplied by 3 to the power 1. So 2 squared, that's 4. 4 multiplied by 3, which is just 12. So 12 is your answer. 12 is your answer. Let's do the last question. Let's do the last question. Find the square root. Find the square root of 6,250,000. So you have 6,250,000. So square root 6,250,000. So in standard form, once again, if you answer in standard form, you want to move the comma from here to here. How many places are that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 6 places that you need to move the comma. So you're going to have square root of 6.25. So the square root of 6.25 times 6.25 times 10 to the power 6. 6.25 times 10 to the power 6. So this is an easy one. This is an easy one. You can choose to move a comma here just for evaluation. So 2 places down just for evaluation. So 2 places down, we subtract 2 from the power 4. Remember, 25 times 25 is 625. So you have 25 squared multiplied by 10, 4. So here, if that's a square root, that's 2, right? Remember that fractional index. So we are just going to remain at 25. 2, yeah. So we remove 2 units, 25 to the power 1, multiplied by 10 to the power 2, squared. So that's simple, eh? Simple, so you're going to have 25 to the power 1 multiplied by 10 to the power 2, 2 over 2. So they cancel out. So you're going to have 25 times 10 to the power 2. You're not done with your answer. In standard form, A has to be less than 10 and greater than 1. 25 is greater than 10. So we're going to move. So your answer came as 25 times 10 to the power 2. That's your answer. So you need to move your comma from here to here so that A is less than, it's greater than 1 but less than 10. So this is 2,5 times 10 to the power 3. That's your answer. Standard